It's the series finale between the RoughRiders and the Midland Rockhounds, and today we're joined by RoughRiders pitching coach Jeff Andrews. Jeff, yesterday Alec Asher, his third straight seven-inning start. He looks to be pitching well here as of late. Is he doing everything that you're looking to see in terms of development out of him as the season's gone on?
Very much so. He's being efficient. I mean, he's been 3 starts, 7 innings each start, and he's been in the 90s with all 3 of those. Really like what he's doing with his secondary pitches. He seems to be controlling the big inning, kind of bit him a lot in April, the 4-run inning, that type of thing. He's given up some home runs, but I think a lot of them have been majority of wind-dated. He's pitching ahead. His changeup's coming along really well. He's making nice progress.
I did want to ask you about the home runs because that number does jump out at you, 8 homers and 8 starts. Is it, as you said, primarily wind-dated, or is it the fact that he doesn't get away with that one bad pitch that he has maybe throughout an outing?
Well, I think it's more the wind right now. You could slap the 2 last night due to it. His fastball has a tendency to get a little straight at times, and if it's not down, it'll be be up a little bit, and guys make contact with it. That number as far as home runs doesn't concern me. As long as it doesn't concern him and he starts pitching defensive, I think it's fine.
Looking at last night's game, and I'm not trying to pick on Jimmy because this has been a little bit endemic for the entire bullpen. It seems like a lot of guys will have one really good inning and then come back and look completely the opposite in the next inning. Why do you think that is, that a guy who maybe lights out will look the opposite of that when he really hasn't thrown very many pitches from inning to inning?
I think it's a lack of self-confidence. I think they go out and come in after the inning and they go back out and they say, oh, God, there's no way I can be as good as I was last inning. And I think they get a little bit defensive instead of just trusting what they did the inning before. It has been an issue, and it's one that's kind of hard to address, other than saying, yeah, you were good this inning, you stunk next inning. There's a reason for it, and it's only probably in their brains why they switch from being aggressive pitching to defensive and walking guys in their second inning.
Is there a common reason for some of the struggles that the bullpen has had being able to put together shutdown outings?
No, I don't know if there is or not. I thought when we came into the season that we were going to have 8 guys that would be able to close games, and now I'm trying to find one. They just haven't lived up to expectations. It's been a defensive bullpen, a bullpen that comes in and walks guys. It's been a disappointing one, particularly for me, since I had high hopes for them, and I thought it was going to be one of the best bullpens that we'd had in Frisco for years.
I was talking to Luke Jackson yesterday about his curveball, and he says that you and he have been doing a lot of tinkering with that, some experimenting in side sessions. What are you working on with him to try and get that to be a better pitch, a more consistent pitch for him?
I don't know if we're tinkering. It's more timing and rhythm. I mean, he's just working on things he needs to work on with his delivery and with his timing, and it gets to a point sometimes where he forces his curveball a little bit, and he goes out there too long and too late without enough ability to spin. And it's a work in progress, and he's doing pretty good with it.
Some have pointed to the relative success that Nick Martinez has had up with the big league club, and with the injury situations that seem to be continuously pouring down on the big league staff. Some have started to have some chatter about Luke potentially being a solution up there. In your opinion, is he ready to be a contributor at the big league level as a starting pitcher, or would that harm his development and possibly be detrimental to the big league club?
I don't know. You're asking me questions that even if I had the answer, I wouldn't tell you. Those are kind of conversations we have within the organization and with the front office. Could he go to the big leagues and pitch? Probably. Could he go to the big leagues and do good? I don't know. It's all in the future for him. Is he making progress? Is he good? Is he on the right path? Yes.
We're here with RoughRiders pitching coach Jeff Andrews. Jared Eichhoff has pitched well over his last few outings. What have you seen the difference between Jared when he's not going well earlier in the season and what he's done lately?
Straight confidence. He kind of believes in himself. I don't think he's living and dying with every pitch. He's throwing all 4 of his pitches for strikes, but not trying to be perfect with any of them. I think he's seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, in the sense that he can get deep into a game, and everything doesn't have to be perfect for him to do it. I think he might be enjoying his game a little bit more. In that sense, that it's not, squeezing the ball to death before he throws it.
Finally, Jeff, it seems like the topic of the season in terms of pitching at all level has been Tommy John surgery. There's been an epidemic of that, pitchers requiring the surgery. News broke yesterday possibly that Martin Perez might need it. Is there anything from your perspective that you see with regard to the way pitchers throw now versus what they did 10, 15 years ago when it maybe wasn't a problem that you can point to? And I know nobody has a solution, but is there anything that you've thought might be a potential solution to maybe curbing this injury in the future?
My 5-cent opinion is that they throw hard. Everybody throws harder. I mean, you're looking about, ligaments and muscles and things like that, tearing. I mean, guys, you can almost look it up. All the hard throwers that have, and there's no ironclad rule either side. But the guys that throw hard, I mean, even go all the way back to guys like Doc Gooden starting, the guys that are just kind of 2 or 3 ticks above the average. They seem to have that issue, and I don't know if there's anything you can do about it because you don't have a crystal ball on when it's going to come or how it's going to come, and what stage of development. There's nothing that follows it. Guys have it 2 years after they're in the big leagues, 4 years after they're in the big leagues, when they're in the minor leagues. I think a lot of it has to do with effort, and kids are just throwing harder.
Jeff, as always, appreciate the time, and best of luck out there for you and the staff here tonight.
Thank you, Alice.
That's RoughRiders pitching coach Jeff Andrews. We're back right after this on the Frisco RoughRiders Baseball Network.